Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Please hit the like button on the way in. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Don't fall asleep with YouTube playing, okay? Either on your computer or on your TV, all right? Because this happened in the middle of the night and it woke me up out of my sleep. And I said, oh, hell no, I need to talk about this. Good morning, April. Hope all is well, baby girl. Hope all is well. What am I talking about? Well, we are again back at it with Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright went back on the Blue Couch podcast, okay? Now, which is quite interesting in itself because rumor has it she was beefing with them again. But apparently, maybe they weren't. Maybe it was a rumor or they worked things out. But she's back on the Blue Couch, even though she has her own channels. But she's back on the Blue Couch. And she talked about the norm that she typically talks about. And what is the norm? The evils of the industry, good versus evil, God's side versus the other side. She talked about Diddy, as she calls the diddler, Jay-Z, Beyonce. She just went down a list like she normally does. She even talked about the Shannon Sharp situation, so many other things, right? And so I typically was just, halfway asleep listening to it. But then she said something that made me say, what the hell is going on here? And Jaguar, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm about to play it for you. I'm going to play the audio of it. Okay. Fair use of the audio because I was completely blown by what she said. And now I can see why people don't F with Jaguar Wright. I see it now more clearly now than ever before because she's coming off as a walking contradiction, which is making me wonder, what do you really want, Jaguar? And based off of this, I think it's very clear what the hell she wants. So let me play it for you, and then we're going to talk about it. Make sure you hit the like button.
Sounds like worship to me. When are all of you going to acknowledge that this is bigger than the reality, the false reality that you've chosen to accept? This is a fight between good and evil. What acts like God will show. What acts like the devil will show. If you keep seeing that these people that you have made gods, that you have made this, that you have made that in your mind, if you choose not to see these people as the devil, it's because you want to be just like them. Powerful. Choose wisely. Powerful. Man, with that being said, we have what outside of the Cash App, we'll get that fixed. But what platforms are you on now? What channels? JaguarWright.com, of course, is what we have going on. I have the Jaguar Wright effect, and that is for the Jaguar Wright community, my Jaganators. That's where we come, and they get to hear it from me. They get to experience it with me. I'm now doing my virtual diary over there. So y'all don't want to miss that. And there's memberships available, and each membership has a different perk. And then we also have the Jaguar Wright Show, and I can't wait to announce who my next guest is going to be. I think it's going to knock everybody's socks off. Ooh. We'll keep it on the low for a second. Okay. You always deliver. You always deliver. Part of the reason why is because I haven't said anything, and I didn't want to, but we've been in negotiation with Zeus. Oh, that's needed. Oh,
Let me pause it right there. Now, she just said good versus evil. And pretty much if you choose to ignore certain things, pretty much you playing on the devil's side. And then she goes into all of her platforms and then says they're in negotiations with Zeus. The same Zeus that was just exposed for allegedly stealing the co-founders' rights and money. The same Zeus, Lumel Plummer, they call Lemon Pepper, that allegedly has been accused multiple times of SA. Okay, played that over here, the video, and how one of the co-founders said that one of his former assistants allegedly accused him of SA and they took her side. The same Lumel Plummer of Zeus that does baddies and they pray to the baddie gods, and people have been saying there's a lot of demonic stuff going on over there. The same Zeus Lumel Plummer who looks up to Diddy, the diddler, has multiple pictures with this man. And in my opinion, is trying to embody this man in all ways, damn near look like him. This is him when he was congratulating him on his Lifetime Achievement Award. There's several pictures of him and Diddy. But you claim to be God's child, having discernment, talking about good versus evil in the industry, and you're talking about being in negotiations with Zeus? What about Zeus is anything positive? She always talking about the struggle of artists and everything else. There have been people been complaining about their money over there. What the hell are you talking about? How can you even sit up there and just go through what you just said and then say you're in negotiations with Zeus of all platforms? I'm going to continue and then I'm going to give my opinion on this bullshit because it's straight bullshit. And she's coming off like a walking contradiction, preaching one thing, but trying to make deals with the alleged devil behind the scenes. Get the hell up out of here.
That might be the right house. Hey, Lamel Plummer, if you're listening.
We've been in negotiation. They said they wanted to start filming at the end of the month, and I didn't want to speak about it too soon, but hell with it. Might as well. Now, what I'm curious is to how this is going to work, because it's for me to do my own like talk show / podcast there. And it's funny because they approached me. Someone had approached me about the aunties last year. And
right, I was about to say they had the aunties.
I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah, no, you're forced by yourself to be, you by yourself. I'm glad I missed it.
He needs to really stop pumping her up, talking about that's a good look. They don't ever challenge Jag on here. And probably because they know if they challenge her, but do they ever challenge anyone? I don't think they do. I really don't think they do. I think they just let people talk, kind of like Shannon Sharp let people talk on his channel. But they don't challenge her, because the moment that I would have heard all of that good versus evil and then say be in a negotiation with Zeus with all of the drama behind that name and Lumel Plummer, I would have said, oh, pump your brakes. You going over there? But you claim you don't want to make deals like that. You claim these are the people that we have to look out for. What are you doing?
You need no co-host.
I was real cool on that. So that was last year, and this is this year. So we'll see. Honestly, they could use somebody like me over there. They could use something that's a little different than everything else over there.
Girl, you shouldn't. I got to pause. You shouldn't even want to. You shouldn't even want to be over there for everything that you claim you stand for. The diddler, Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, all the evil in the industry, everything that you claim you stand for, Jaguar, talking about truth, you shouldn't even want to negotiate or associate yourself with Zeus. Bottom line, if everything that you've been saying for all of these years, people are supposed to believe you and take your word, there should be no reason why you should even consider Zeus, especially with all of the issues that was going on. And from my understanding, just based off of doing research and people coming to me, there's been a lot of people who have passed mysteriously, who have been on Zeus, and Zeus just kept playing them, didn't even acknowledge that they passed. If that don't come off like some wicked dark energy, I don't know what does. But you claim you have discernment. You claim that you can fill out these type of situations. Clearly not if you're trying to go to Zeus. So again, my opinion on the situation, she wants to be in the industry. See, now this is really coming off as I couldn't get in another way. So me doing this and blasting people and putting people out there, whether it's true or not, but blasting people and putting people out there got me a lot of attention. But in reality, deep down, I want to make deals and I want to be in the industry just like everyone else. I could see if she was trying to start her own platform. I could see if she was literally trying to go like an independent route and deal with somebody who doesn't have the reputation of Zeus. But she is saying this proudly, like it's nothing for her to make a deal with Zeus. And I know she has to know the background. I know she has to know the history of what's going on with Zeus. It just seems that conveniently she wants to ignore it. Maybe for her own benefit, like the way that she talks about other people in the industry. But let me continue.
We'll see if it happens. Like I said, we're in negotiations. So
yeah, we're only praying for that to happen.
We're not praying for nothing. You ain't praying to the one living God.
So anything else is probably second fiddle to what you are. Which is
when he say praying, he talking about praying to the baddie guys that Natalie be praying to, because he ain't talking about the God. Let's continue.
I have planned for that Zeus schedule is pretty ridiculous, especially considering that I'm going to be inviting some of my friends that I met at Mar-a-Lago to come and sit with me and share their stories of how fake news tried to destroy their life or their family.
She talking about when she went to Trump's house to get that award. Now, she probably was maybe only a few chocolate drops in that room. If y'all really think some of them people from Trump's house is about to go on the dang on Zeus Network, do you really think that's about to happen? Do you? Hell no. Hell to the no.
That's the one thing that me and Donald Trump really do have in common right now. Our disdain for fake news and the damage that it does to real people.
There you go.
You gotta think about the gravity of that. What fake news does to real people.
Right. And then after it's done, it's the apology. It's the
whatever. Whatever. They can keep their apology. They can just pay me so I can continue to build cruelty-free artistry, because there are so many great artists that after
they can just pay her so she can continue to build cruelty-free artistry. And yet there are people allegedly complaining at Zeus. They're not being treated right. They're not getting paid correctly. Again, cruelty-free artistry, but you have people over there being treated allegedly horribly and not getting paid. Understand, this does not make any sense. It does not. Jaguar. And let's be clear, people who know and been following me all of this time know that I was standing for this girl from the beginning. And I was like, I don't think everything she's saying is a lie. I think she's getting this information from other sources. And then she tries to say like it's from her experience because she doesn't want to put them out there. But let me tell you something. This right here woke me up out of my sleep. I said, wait a minute. I know I did not just hear that. I thought I was having a nightmare or something. I said, I didn't just hear that. And I was like, no, I did just hear that. I did just hear her talk about good and evil, talk about all of this stuff, and then said that she literally was in negotiations with Zeus. This makes no freaking sense. Girl, continue to sit up there and just drown in your own bullshit at this point. Drown in your own bullshit. You're not making any sense at all whatsoever. You are literally trying to make a deal and dance with the alleged devil. It makes no sense. Hi, I'm sorry, you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Bonnie. Cruelty-free is fraudulent. I reported and it's being investigated. See, and more and more, and more and more. It's like stuff is coming out. But again, this just really caught me off guard. And I said, see, this is the bullshit. This is the BS. This is the BS that like these channels who talk about Jaguar, her former moderators who can't stand her, like it's probably because of things like this. And again, we're human, but when you come off like you're on a certain pedestal of righteousness, and how you're not willing to get down with the stuff that they do in this industry, but willing to sign deals with the industry, how the hell does that make sense? Y'all explain it to me. Y'all explain it to me. She's been on a campaign for years about how wicked the industry is. And I have even said it. Someone who has grown up out here, I have said it. I don't believe everyone in the industry is wicked. I feel you can still make deals and still be able to have artistry and be able to get paid for your artistry and not make a deal with the devil. Period. There are people who do it. I know people who have done it and still do it. But we're talking about Zeus. That literally, if you just put in their name, Zeus exposed or Zeus this, Zeus that, you're going to see a lot of ignorant stuff and a lot of allegations that at a certain point, just like she claims with Diddy that she calls the diddler, at a certain point, how many rumors are you going to constantly hear about the same person or the same network and not believe it? Is that there's some truth somewhere in there, but you're willing to make a deal? You're willing to make a deal? Bonnie says she tried to destroy my life, so she's being investigated right now. She is messing with my children, and my uncle literally houses truck. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. This is deep. This is deep because for the life of me, if I can be honest, I didn't understand the channels that consistently, like, always talked about Jaguar. But hearing these stories, and again, Bonnie, I don't know your story. My heart goes out to you. I always have to say alleged because I don't know for, things to be true or not because I'm not in the experience. But to hear that and to hear other stories, it really makes me wonder what she is doing behind the scenes. It's coming off like she can be just as diabolical as the people that she talks about. Because if any of these stories that people come to me about are true, it is coming off that she is just as diabolical. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point is it that you really want to expose them for the right reasons, or you want to expose them to take them down so you can take their spot? Which one is it? No way in hell I'm going to be on a campaign for years about the evils of the industry and SA and women getting treated badly and people getting abused and people not getting their money and people getting their, credits and writing and all of these things stolen from them, and then want to say that you're in negotiation with Zeus. Excuse me? Literally, one of the co-founders of Zeus did a huge video with receipts and everything not even a month ago, if I'm not mistaken, exposing all of it. This is crazy. Oh, man, Bonnie. That is crazy. That is crazy. I'm praying for you, girl. I'm praying for you. But at this point, it's started because I was just like, why? I was like, man, people cannot stand this woman. What is it that she is doing behind the scenes to these people that makes them just like go full throttle, like they have to take her down? This woke me up out of my sleep. I said, wait a minute, how do you even say something like this? Am I the only one? And again, I know it's early in the morning. Some of you guys getting ready for work like me, or some of you guys are already at work first thing in the morning. We definitely drop your comments. I want to know how this even makes sense, especially the Jaguar Wright fans out there. How does this make sense that she is always talking about exposing the industry? And don't get it twisted. I do believe there are certain people in the industry that are evil as hell. I do. I absolutely do. I believe that there are people in the industry that are wicked and they have done some very evil, trifling things to people and situations to get where they are at. Absolutely believe it. We've heard these stories too many times. So I believe it, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to make a deal with them. I wouldn't want to make a deal with them. So, yeah, to me, that's a walking contradiction. That's being a hypocrite, is it not? I'm exposing them, but I have no problem signing a deal with someone who's allegedly being exposed for the things that you claim you're against. And she said it so proudly. So proudly, like there's no big deal with her signing a deal or wanting to be in negotiation with Zeus.
To these
This is crazy.
These houses of ill repute fall. They're going to need a place to go where they can be nurtured and encouraged in an environment that will help them be the best independent artists that they can be, because that's all we're doing at Cruelty Free. It's a nonprofit organization.
How are you saying being independent when going to Zeus is not independent? How are you trying to push other people to be independent when you're not being independent, trying to negotiate with Zeus? That makes no sense to me.
For a reason. We're not interested in signing people to record deals. We're interested in creating partnership, possibilities for themselves as we build the community. To be able to have your own search engine built around you with a system that's there to support it, where all artists are supporting one another. We need that.
Yes.
Like, artists need to start caring more about other artists rather than just worrying about competing with them.
Correct.
We could do so much more working together. And that's why when I think about what Suge was saying about how when him and the other guys were trying to get together to create their own distribution house so they could walk away from the UMG, so they could walk away from the Warner Brothers, and so they could be a self-contained business, just like what Sam Cooke tried to do before he was unalived by suspicious means.
Yeah.
The simple fact that it was Jay-Z that ran back to Diddy and they went and told the man to shut them down so that they couldn't do that. Like, that's the thing that's bothering me.
Well, whatever. It bothers you so much that you're willing to make a deal with Lamel Plummer, who allegedly has literally taken money from the other co-founders of Zeus who put in not only their time, put in their resources and money allegedly into Zeus, but you're willing to make a deal with him. That doesn't sound like cruelty free to me. Jaguar, you know what? It is what it is. Of course, in any type of situation, she'll probably make an excuse for what she said. The reality is I want her to go on an actual platform where someone challenges what she says, but she's never going to do that. She's never going to do that because she wants people to just be yes people around her. And from my understanding, she done now got into it with Sean Atwood, which apparently that was like her homie forever. You know what I'm saying? From my understanding, people claim that she was willing to stop going to the black YouTube content creator channels and went to Sean Atwood because Sean Atwood, you know, she felt like was better for her look, allegedly. Now she done got into it with him. Like, now she got into it with him. So it is what it is. You guys let's continue the conversation. I want to know what you guys think about this. Like I said, it rattled me enough to where I said, oh, I'm gonna talk about this first thing in the morning because she full of shit. I see now moderators, former moderators of her who have followed me or still follow me. I see it. Channels that actually talk about her consistently, I see it. Because again, she always talks about the things that people do behind the scenes that no one knows about. And now, allegedly, people are saying that she does a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't know about, trying to allegedly destroy people. I just find it quite interesting. And you're talking about how cruelty free, you're talking about how all of these people are wicked, but you're willing to sign up with someone who's allegedly wicked. It makes no sense to me. But let's continue the conversation, you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you hit the like button. Like. The like button gets me in the algorithm. I want to have a straight up real conversation about this and a mature conversation. These freaking jaganators don't come over here being disrespectful, because the reality is, if you can really see if you're about right and wrong, you will really have to explain to me how she constantly talks about the stuff that she's talking about, but then willing to sign a deal with Zeus. It makes no sense to me. So if you come respectful, I would love to have a conversation with you about what you think about this situation. So with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.